Good afternoon, guys. Now, see, we almost lost one of our ICE agents. See what I mean? We ain't got time for games with this shit. I mean, we being too nice to these people. Why? Why is we letting this shit happen? This is America. The greatest country in the world, the most powerful country in the world. Why is we letting these people come here and disrespect us and hurt our officers like that? They pow at him 20 times. One hit him in the neck. And they caught him unarmed. They ambushed him. He didn't even know it was coming. They snuck up on him. Those are terrorists. What's up? Let's go. No more nice guy. I don't want to hear nothing about processing. I don't want to hear none of that shit. Time to go. That's it. By any means necessary. It's time for them now to F around and find out. Now, they F around already. Now, let them find out. Let them find out. We're not going to wait until the next one get hurt. Now, this guy made it. They try to really take him down. 20 rounds on him, and only one hit him in the neck? Tell me God wasn't with him. Okay, let's go, because these people are demons. They are terrorists, and they got to go, and they have no right to be in our country protesting at all. You don't demand my government to keep you in our country. That shit don't work that way. It's time to go. Now that they did this, you got to get rid of all of them now, Trump. Everybody got to go, Trump. Everybody. Ain't nobody being broken away from their family. Their family could go with them. But he almost was taken away from his family, though. See, they don't care about that, do they? They don't care about him almost getting taken away from his family, though, right? Come on now, let's go. Let's go. I'm a real leader. I got that in me. I'm a leader.
Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, man. If you agree with this young woman right here, if you agree with her, put a 1, put a fist, put a strength emoji in the chat, put a heart in the chat. If you agree with her, yes, these people gotta go. They gotta go. And the people that perpetrated this crime, they need to be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Fullest extent of the law. Fortunately, the ICE agent is still with us. He's still among the living. Fortunately, but yeah, these people, they need to be dealt with. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button. Let's keep going.
And 10 people are facing federal charges of attempted murder this morning. This comes after prosecutors say an Alvarado police officer and correctional officers were attacked Friday night at an ICE detention facility. Trevor Sohaki is there live this morning in Alvarado this morning with the very latest on this. And Trevor, authorities are calling this an ambush. What else have you learning?
Yeah, that's right, Carmen. It's still very tense out here. We've seen multiple ICE agents roaming around. They've checked our credentials, and they don't want us to show you this on camera, but just over to my right, there's an armored truck over there, as well as multiple vehicles that are kind of protecting the entrance to this ICE detention facility behind me, making sure that everyone who is here is supposed to be here, and no one can get in unless they are allowed to be here. And that's because officials say this was a planned attack on ICE agents intended to kill ICE agents. They say this was no peaceful protest. There were shots fired. Now, the acting North Texas U.S. Attorney Nancy Larson, she says there are about a dozen or so people who came to this Prairieland Detention Center in Alvarado on Friday night. She says they were dressed in black military-style clothes and used fireworks and vandalized property to lure agents into a trap. Authorities allege a suspect in a wooded area near the center then shot an Alvarado police officer in the neck, and a second suspect fired 20 to 30 bullets at officers who had stepped outside. Investigators found AR-style rifles at the scene, and the defendants were found with body armor.
Violence, threats of violence, and attempts of vandalism at our ICE facilities will not deter our officers from fulfilling their duties. Within ICE alone, our officers and agents are facing a 700% increase in assaults.
Yeah, it's a sad situation, man. It's sad. ICE agents doing their job. I'm glad that in the new bill, there's going to be more ICE agents on the daggone streets. I'm also glad that we're going to have more border patrol agents, you know, in our southern as well as in our northern border. We need this. We voted for this. We voted for a closed border. We voted for one of the largest deportations to ever happen in our nation. We voted for this. We're not for mass amnesty. We need these people to leave our nation, and we need them to leave immediately. And all these Antifa whack jobs out there, they need to be, you know, prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Let's keep going.
And if so, who is organizing this violence and who.
So there has been a series of really disturbing attacks against immigration officers lately. Some of them described by officials as, quote, planned ambushes. According to DHS, assaults on immigration enforcement officers are up almost 700% when compared to the same time last year. For more on this, we are joined by Chief Correspondent Jonathan Hunt. Live with.
How many of you guys want to see these politicians, the AOCs of the world, the Rashida Tlaibs of the world, who are the Maxine Waters of the world, who are telling their constituents to go out here and cause harm to ICE agents? How many people want to see, some of these politicians who are out here spewing this vile rhetoric? How many of you guys want to see them being held accountable for this?
More. Hi, Jonathan.
Hey, Bill, let's get first to the ambush in Alvarado, Texas, which appears to be the most coordinated of all the recent attacks on ICE and Border Patrol agents and facilities. That attack began with at least 10 people, all dressed in what investigators describe as black military-style clothing, shooting fireworks at the Prairie Detention Center. Around 10 minutes later, one or two of them broke off from the main group and began spray painting the facility and vehicles parked there with words like traitor and other slogans. A police officer arrived responding to a 911 call, and at that point, one of the group, who had apparently hidden in trees near the facility, opened fire, hitting the officer in the neck, while another attacker, also across the street, fired dozens of rounds at officers from the facility.
It was a planned ambush with the intent to kill ICE corrections officers. Make no mistake, this was not a so-called peaceful protest. It was indeed an ambush.
10 people have now been charged with attempted murder. As well as weapons and body armor, police also discovered anarchist literature and flyers in one of the vehicles used by the attackers, and a Faraday bag, a type of bag that blocks phone signals and which is commonly used by criminals to prevent law enforcement tracking their locations. Separately, investigators are also looking into the background of a man shot dead by Border Patrol agents after he opened fire on them at a facility in McAllen, Texas yesterday. And one of the big questions, Bill, yet to be answered, is whether all of these attacks against ICE and Border Patrol are entirely separate incidents, or whether there is some form of coordination behind them, and if so, who is organizing this violence and who might be funding it. Bill?
Yep.
Yeah, this is ridiculous, man. And there needs to be a full-fledged investigation as to who's funding these organizations. We need to get an understanding if this is a coordinated attack, because if it is, it's even worse than, it's already bad. But now we're start talking about full-fledged domestic terrorism, right here in our nation by our own citizens. I mean, this is ridiculous. This is crazy. But a lot of the far left politicians have put a battery in these people's backs.
The shooter in Texas who was targeting ICE agents was a 27-year-old man. His name was Ryan Lewis Mosqueda. He was heavily armed with tactical gear and extra ammo in his backpack. A Border Patrol worker and 2 other officers were shot. But sure, tell me how the people who voted for Trump are supposedly the violent ones, because I don't see us ambushing federal agents. I don't see us supporting criminals who broke national security laws and crossed our borders illegally. But y'all cheer on that daily. DHS has released a report that shows that assaults on ICE agents has gone up by 500%, with coordinated attacks in Texas and LA, and yet the media keeps calling ICE the villains. They're enforcing federal laws while your side wants them literally unalived. This is not activism, and I'm pretty sure we have people already defending what this man did. They're just going to keep proceeding to call MAGA fascists, even though you don't see us attacking ICE agents. Nope, all we hear is crickets from the left. But sure, keep calling us the extremists.
Yeah, no, pot calling the kettle black, right? Last time I checked, is those of us on this side of things, we're not going out and attacking anybody. Now, they said that, straight heterosexual Christian men, and they threw the white term in there as well, are the biggest threat to our nation, but that doesn't look like that is the case, especially what we're seeing right now. What we're seeing right now, they're showing us who the true threat to the nation is. And it's definitely not those of us that are followers of Christ. Let's just keep it real.
Listen, I got to tell you, if you want to have the fight, I'll have the fight, okay? If you want to try to tell me that you believe that you somehow represent something more pure when if you're on the left, you just had 10 young people try to kill ICE officers because their policies suck, because the way they're doing it is wrong, and this is something you want to get behind? And say, yeah, well, but? What but? What are you, nuts? If you want to have a fight, I'm here for it. Okay? Because these fringe people on either side, you want somebody to take you on, I'm here for it. Because you're killing us with your crazy. What happened with these kids, these young people, I'm old, everybody's young to me. This was planned, it was organized, they baited, they picked the date, they were heavily harmed. I'm telling you, this could just have easily been an ISIS operation, and we would want to kill an entire country again. And yet now, this is no big deal. This is no big deal.
Yeah, mainstream media is not picking this up. They're not calling these people threats, to democracy. They're not calling these people threats to the nation. They're not calling them domestic terrorists. Mainstream media is doing none of this. None of it. If anything, you have some folks that are actually cheering these people on. I mean, it's insane. It is insane, and these people need to be prosecuted. I don't know if this would consist of a federal crime, but I sure hope it is. I sure hope it is. And they need to send these people to the Supermax. I know we can't send them out to CCOT down in El Salvador, but let's send they behind out to that Colorado Supermax. Let's send them out there. They get 23-1. Let's send them there. All of them. None of them should get a break. None of them.
Who were these suspects who were fired, who actually fired the shots and were later arrested? Who were they, Tom?
Look, they're your typical protesters that go from protesters to criminals. The attack on ICE officers, you've covered it many times, is up nearly 700% now. We were talking 500% a couple weeks ago, so it continues. The rhetoric against the men and women of ICE is skyrocketing, especially by members of Congress. We have senators, we have Congress people that compare ICE to the Nazis, compare ICE to racists. And it just continues. So the public thinks, well, if a member of Congress can attack ICE, why can't we? So the rhetoric has to stop. Or it's a matter of time for someone, one of the ICE officers goes down or a criminal goes down. But we already see an officer go down.
To be clear, so these were American citizens? These weren't illegals who opened fire?
No. As far as the investigation, I want to get ahead of the local investigation on this, but they appear to be agitators, people that are protesting ICE operations, damaging ICE property, want to attack ICE officers.
Yeah, these are American citizens. It looks like the majority of them anyway, American citizens. And they need to be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, man. I know there's an investigation. I would assume that there may be some additional information that will come out in the very near future. But yeah, they need to be put on full blast. And then you get this clown. And he's just one of a multitude of woke liberal mayors out there. And, this guy comes out here and says that he's going to continue to aid illegal immigrants.
And division. Look, we are a welcoming city ordinance. Our local police department will not ever cooperate with ICE. Whatever their constitutional authority is. And division. Look, we are a welcoming city ordinance. Our local police department will not ever cooperate with ICE.
That right there just goes to show you that these people care more about illegal immigrants pushing their agenda. Obviously, the agenda is to make all of these people legal residents with the ability to vote. So they basically own these people almost in perpetuity because they can say that, hey, we're the party that allowed you to stay here. We're the ones that gave you all the free stuff. That's who the Democrats are. They got to have somebody under their thumb at all times. They have to. And this particular character, Mitchell Frost, I think that's his name, he basically says the quiet part out loud.
To my Republican colleagues who say, I don't want any undocumented people in this country, I actually agree with you. So let's document every single one of them with a speedy path to citizenship. That's how we fix this problem. But this terror campaign of having masked people rolling up in vans, unmarked vans, grabbing students off of the street. But we also have to talk about the agents themselves that are carrying this out. If you have any decency, quit now. Go do something else. Because just doing what you were told has been the justification for some of the worst horrors and crimes against humanity in the history of not just this nation, but this world. And we're seeing this unfold right before us.
Yeah, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is their plan. They want mass amnesty for illegal immigrants. They let over 11 to 30 million people, and they want these people to have the ability to vote, which essentially would fundamentally change our nation. Now, what we do know is that with mass amnesty, I would assume that a large swath of those folks are going to vote for far left, liberal, progressive policies that are going to harm the nation, going to harm most of the people, and would just fundamentally change everything that this country is about. And we got to do everything that we can to fight against that. We got to keep that from happening. And that's why the mass deportations, it's needed. And that's also the reason why people like Michelle Wu up in Boston, Mayor Brandon Johnson, Karen Bass, the list goes on. That's the reason why they're fighting against it. And that's a lot of the reason why, your, House representatives on the Democrat side of things, they're fighting against it because they understand that that is their voter base. That's their future right there. They know that Black people in America, for the most part, are going to get to a point to where it's going to be split right down the middle. They don't 100% own the Black vote. They know this, and this is the replacement. They brought the replacement in. They allowed them in. Folks just need to realize that. The sooner the better, but I'm here for ICE doing their job. I'm here for the people who are trying to keep ICE from doing their job to be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, and especially the people that ambushed and attacked ICE agents. They need to be dealt with, and they need to be dealt with swiftly, thoroughly, and with some of the harshest sentences that could possibly be levied upon them. Seriously. But I want to hear from you guys in the comment section. Like, share, subscribe, turn the notifications on to all so you never miss an upload. Consider joining the ARP family. Join us Monday through Friday, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for ARP in the morning. Keep God first. Stay prayed up. We'll catch up with you all next time. Peace.
Vibes so raw.